We are live, baby. Welcome, everyone.
Bitch, I'm always at the guala, yeah, and you are not badass beat.
Okay.
Keep on going till you hit the spot. Whoa, I'm a big bag hunter with the bow. She got a big bag.
Is that better?
Mama called me and she
All right. We got Brandon, we got Devin in the house. We are doing some experimental. I'm not ready. I'm in the middle of a crazy pack. My office is a mess, but we wanted to do something fun. And Devin's on a roll, so we just coming fresh from the flow party, and yeah, we're just gonna have some people hang out. We are going to find my Twitter. I can't even think today. It's been such a crazy day. There's a link to Zoom. Join us if you want. Otherwise, just enjoy the stream. But what are we going to do today, Brandon, Devin?
Chain swinging, clang clang, and it costs a lot. Bitch, I'm always at the guala, yeah, and you are not badass beat. Keep on going till you hit the spot. Whoa, I'm a big bag hunter with the bow. She got a big bed, number drop it low. Mama called me and she happy with the grow. Never ever fall for a party, that's a no. I've been in the club and taking shots. If you get your mask off in the photo, you getting crap. Hopping out the phone, shit, the CVS is like a block away. But I'm
so we're gonna hop over to Figma right now.
My ice is fake, your life is fake. I just do it for my pocket's sake. You're basing your opinions on what the major says. I renovate the bad energy.
Okay, let's kill the music here. I'm gonna put some proper. Yeah. Sure. I will follow you for now, and then we'll just kick it off. I'm gonna figure out the stream thing. All right. For Zoom, actually, no, on the stream, we're in Figma, so we're just watching you already. So we're all good. Oh, okay, yep. Yeah, sure. One moment. Multiple, okay. Okay, go ahead. Zach in the house. Sorry. We got people coming in. Mm. Zach, it's yeah. Ooh, okay. Hey, nice. Hang on, so I'm gonna pause you for a bit. So what do we want to accomplish by the end of this, like by the hour? Do we want to put together? Yes, for sure. Have fun. Do we want to like have a mood board established, or like an art direction, or like just a mishmash of like what, or like a logo, a general logo? Like what are we, where are we at? Yeah. Okay, so kind of open-ended. We're just gonna play around. Gotcha. Okay. Okay. Cool. Okay. Zach, welcome, man. Thought you can come and join the party. Yeah, we're just here just to hang out. So feel free to join and contribute or chat. Those who are watching on the stream, I think I fixed the. I think we fixed the audio. So let me know if you can hear myself and everyone in Zoom. So. All right. Yeah, I'm just. Okay, let's see here. No, not yet. I am following you though. Just fixing some audio issues. Come on, people can't hear you. Yeah.
Mature and serious in nature, big, like a heavy use of grids. I want to have colors that are maybe not as bright, that are maybe more like earthy toned, sort of like dirt or like moss, like Pacific Northwest kind of, maybe like some Southwest deserty colors. Because what I really want is for
there you go. Audio.
My site to be kind of monochromatic almost, so that when I put the work on the site, that work really pops, because like my work tends to be very colorful, very bright, and loud with the typography and the illustrations. But for me personally, and like the things that I like, I want it to be more simplistic. I want it to be less loud. I want it to be like a meditation in the form of a website. And so I've attached a bunch of different website examples here. I put the Vitra bird because I'm a big fan of like Vitra's stuff just generally. And then some of these marks, I didn't put the Herman Miller or the Eames logo, but I really enjoyed those like 1950s, 1960s logo marks with the just like very strong, not complicated. They don't have too much to say, So that's sort of like my breakdown for this whole mood board, as messy as it might be. Does that make sense? Like what I explained for like the style?
It does. I mean, yesterday when we were talking a bit, that's where my head was going. Actually, when I was doing these sketches, I hadn't seen your examples that you sent me last night.
So, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So I didn't see them until this morning. I did have some like thoughts or questions on that too, though, because you talked about very minimal, which less is more most of the like in personal stuff as well. Yeah. Wondering, like, did you feel like that ends up being just a really solid typeface of Fountain or potentially your full name? Do you want or see like an emblem or an icon tied with that? Just wondering like how simple you wanted to go.
So I think that I have a very strong name just generally. Like Devin Fountain is a very unique sounding name. And it only recently have I sort of realized that. And so for me, I go back and forth, like, do I want Devin Fountain for SEO purposes? Or do I just want Fountain because like it's just like a strong sort of standalone thing, right? Because my website is devinfountain.com, but then do I also want the first name and the actual mark? And then do I want the mark itself? Because like when I'm building websites for myself, or for clients rather, sometimes I think of like the logo that they give me, and the first thought that comes to mind is, how can I animate this logo for like a loader, or how can I turn this logo into a pattern? Something to again like extrapolate that logo into something way bigger than it needs to be. So that's kind of like, I don't think that fully answered your question, but I'm also having a hard time determining which one I want. But I think you have a good idea of how I would use the mark if we made one, and how I would use the font if we made that.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I just feel like in a lot of these examples that you showed and how I've seen it in the past, some people are like simply just writing out the name, and there's like not really any kind of logo, things like this, where I love the simplicity and like why overthink it if you don't have to
Yeah.
side of things. But then obviously where a more personal like personality of a font like this Alma one,
Yeah.
or like the Eames stuff that you had sent me earlier too, like this this vibe.
Yeah,
I don't know where that's from, but yeah.
Some dribble. I don't remember where. I know that one. This is like a critique that I often have for websites. Is like, it's such a modern, like 2022 thing. Like Mouthwash Studios. Sorry, love you guys, but it's such a common thing to go. Okay, my font is medium weight, and everything is the same weight, and it's all black on a white background, and then there's just a random grid going on, right? Like, I think that's perfectly fine. In fact, I actually like it a lot sometimes. You can see that on a couple of these examples where they're like, this is all medium weight, or this one's all medium weight. But for me, I think injecting a little more personality into the heading fonts, into the logo with a little bit more color is sort of what I want to do here. Where like it feels tame, except with a tinge of personality.
Totally. Yeah, and I think really quickly on that too, just because I think about it with like the All Work No Sleep site where it's just my personal stuff, but even like Bones Co. I want the work to speak for itself and not do too much of a like in your face, like look at this type of thing. I think that's like a good way to handle it. And then also like with All Work No Sleep, I did that in like 3 hours on a winter day, like during like Christmas like break. And essentially it was just like, if I don't force myself to like keep this simple and just do it, I will not probably get a personal site out for years. And so I think stuff like this where it's just like kind of, I don't know, save it for the client, but like cut the fat and just like throw something out there is, and it can still be thoughtful and still have like personality to it. But I also like just like the minimal approach to that too. So,
okay.
I was going to share this, but there is a Flickr, which I have not used Flickr in years. But it's called, if you just Google vintage logos Flickr, it's called, and I have it over here. It's called Thumb Body. And I know that there's a ton of books out there, but there's like an A to Z scanned book.
Oh, I'm looking at it. Yeah.
All of these cool logos from, the 20s, 30s. I think, I'm not sure like how old it is, but it's just like super cool stuff in here.
Yeah. This is like what I like a lot of, something that's like, I guess not to use it again, but like the Eames or the Herman Miller or like, what's that airline that has like the hotel at JFK? I'm forgetting the name of that, but just those classic strong marks I really love.
Yeah, and the interesting thing too that I've seen people like make note of, and it might have been from this example specifically, but like the Beats by Dre logo was actually almost like verbatim, like the exact same logo as something that was done like 60 years prior. So I think that's the other thing too, is like it's just, I don't know, it's hard to cover all your bases, but as long as you're like doing a little bit of research, it's
I don't think that we need to reinvent the wheel. I'm a big proprietor of like believer, whatever, of like, stealing, right? Like Ethan, what is his name? Something Klein, his book Steal Like an Artist. It's not literally taking the thing, but it's sort of like, taking it and remixing it and making it your own. Like I like that. I'm okay with that. I think it works in most cases. So we're not reinventing the wheel. Like, I'm okay with something that's been done before, but done differently.
Sorry, guys, real quick.
Totally.
Guys watching, we got 10 people watching. We got Walker, Eric's here. We got Joseph, I think Desiree, a lot of good people, AE Domain. So we got the YouTube, the Figma link and the Zoom link in the YouTube description if you want to join us.
Yeah, right. Walker asked, I missed the Flickr name. What was it again? I think he said Google Flickr.
So I just Googled vintage logos Flickr. but it's called Thumb Body is like the title of the book, but it's essentially someone just scanned this entire book, and there is just some super solid stuff in there.
It's cool.
And I saw Zach pulling up a book. I don't know if Zach had something to share.
Yeah, kind of on that note, I would definitely recommend. There's some pretty massive books out there. That,
I want that one. Yeah,
just like a collection of great logos like that. So I don't know what I stumbled into today with this conversation, but it's deep diving into brand, and I'm all about it. So.
And I don't know.
Yeah, we don't know either.
So.
We're just kind of we're just jamming. Yeah, so I mean, on that note, we can kind of jump into the sketches and kind of talk through those, and add your thoughts on that.
Sure.
Well, before we do that too, I did want to mention. So I use my iPad Pro like quite a bit, and I actually have like a mini one here too. But I use this app called Flow. It's by Moleskine, and it essentially allows you to have like an infinite like a page of just infinite area to like write and sketch. And for whatever reason too, the way that the pencil actually reacts as a pencil on it seems to be better than Procreate or any of the other ones.
Wait, this is an app, this screenshot.
Yeah, so I did this on the iPad, and then and then just sent it over to you, and was going to use this as a reference. So
I thought that was real pencil, like actually.
Right? See? Yeah, and it feels like it too. So
these
Flow by Moleskine, check it out.
These are sketched in pencil or no?
On the iPad. It's all digital, but of a digital pencil.
So cool.
But yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, so Devin, I did share these with you a bit this morning and kind of talked to like high level. But yeah, I just started thinking about us talking about just using fountain. So I was playing with the F. And so, if you see this F, and if it's flipped around, it's an F, and just kind of checking out like the layout of those. This was like maybe a poor attempt at a F and D combined next to it. Then I started exploring like the fountain idea, doing it in different shapes. So it's an arc, a circle. I don't know what this like yin yang thing.
I don't know. I kind of like it, but yeah.
Yeah. And then where I was really vibing, and obviously because I did a handful of variations, and it also seemed to where you were interested, was this fourth row. But yeah, just I guess like hear your thoughts or anything that sticks out.
Yeah. So, the first row I think is like, it's definitely one of those things where you see it and you're like, oh yeah, it's an attempt. It's not. It is an attempt. It's like, okay, they don't really stand out to me, right? They just feel like kind of getting the juices flowing. I think the yin yang one's kind of cool. I have a soft spot for yin yang, but it doesn't feel like it really works for maybe my brand or like what I do. I mean, I'll get to the fountain stuff below. I really like it, but I would maybe like to dig more into that. I think this looks like I did something like this once for me, and I realized it ended up looking like a belt buckle.
I was gonna say the exact same thing.
Yeah. And then I told you this morning I was like, McDonald's for that one.
Mm-hmm.
I think this one's cool, but it gives me almost like a star sign logo, like an Aries or Pisces kind of thing.
Very clean.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's kind of cool.
You can make jewelry out of that,
Yeah.
It's a fountain and it's an F.
Yeah, I know. That's
and I think that's the thing with logos too, is like always trying to be clever and that aha moment when you realize what it is. But sometimes, I don't know, I feel like you're pressuring yourself to hit that.
And
that one really stands out to me. That's pretty clever there.
It's just clean.
Yeah, very simple too.
Yeah. I'm looking at it, I'm like, is there a star sign like that?
Right.
Like a Pisces or an Air, like I'm pulling it up right now. There isn't actually.
Also, is there a Foo Fighters or a Fear Factory like new metal band logo that is close to that too? Maybe.
The Foo Fighters logo. Here we go. We'll just put that in here. Here we go. Here's the Foo Fighters logo. That's my logo, but we're gonna put a D instead of the F.
We're done.
Maybe a fishing company or anchors set down.
mean, yeah, if you just flip it, right?
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of like almost like the male logo symbol. No, I'm wrong. That's the arrow actually. The more I think about it, the more I'm like, I'd consider it. Yeah.
Okay,
it's kind of good.
I got some. Sorry, I was like so distracted for the first 20 minutes. I was fixing the stream and stuff.
Yeah.
The conception, even for logo, like how much deep meaning do you want to bake into it? Like, you want to put in like a core value that represents that? Because usually, from what I understand, a logo is more for recognition and not for describing, right? Like what it is.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, like the fountain. Obviously, that's your last name. But like, is there any other elements that you want to like bake into it that like represents who you are or the value you want to like represent?
Oh, that's a good question.
Or just
I don't think
cool?
so. I mean, yeah, I just want to look cool as hell, brother. I think that like, I personally don't like when logos have like, triple meanings. Like it's an F, it's a fountain, and it's also like a Figma icon. The other F stands for Figma. Like I don't like to go that deep because I think that like most people, they won't extrapolate that same sort of like meaning that I might, and so it doesn't feel worth it to me.
Yeah,
I want something that is like very surface level, I guess.
Right.
Like I like that it's an F and a fountain, and I like that like that's as deep as it goes.
Keep it simple, right?
Yeah. I don't really like the second one. It's almost a little too like realistic, or like, I kind of mess with this one, this wide one. It's cool. I'm a big fan of like wide logos these days. And then I really like these. My only complaint about them is, I think Brandon, you and I talked about this, but it's a bit Young Jerks-ish, which is a branding agency here in Brooklyn, where I'm at. And they do like a lot of bottles, like bottle designs for like labels on bottles or cans or like different products. And so like, for me, just immediately as I saw them, I thought, oh, this would be like a gold label on a, black paper, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, that was honestly my same thought too. That and Work by Land is another one. I don't know if you guys are familiar with them. They do great work. They're out of Texas, but a lot of like cool.
Yeah, I have their mezcal.
Vintage. Yeah, it's really cool shit, but it's almost like so simple that it's like easy to accidentally replicate. So yeah, that's kind of where that one, I was digging where it was going, just because of the fountain. And I also had in the back of my mind, you said you had tried something, but it was very palm tree-esque.
Yeah.
And so I was trying to stay away from that as well.
Yeah, I put together some examples that I had tried to do, and I think that they ended up looking like more like a palm tree rather than a fountain. I tried to do something like really simple. One even looked like a crop that you'd find in a field. Like I'll just paste those here so we can see them. But
oh, nice.
Like I was just playing with really simple like ones. Like, oh, what about this one? It's like a fountain, and then like the water's splashing below, and I don't know. It just doesn't sit right with me. It looks like an eye with an eyelash, kind of, and then. This one looks like a crop growing in a field, and this one looks like a palm tree. It's like the idea came from a sort of like a fountain coming up and like, like splashing in the air, if that makes sense.
A couple things to think about on that though, just because we had talked about this as well, to separate yourself from it, but like outside perspective, and this being new to Josh and Zach and anyone else that's watching, like I really dig these.
Oh,
but
cool.
Because you did them and you saw that, you've seen them forever.
Yeah.
It's hard to separate yourself where fresh set of eyes, like, I totally get what you're saying, but especially the first and second one, like I'm really digging and gravitating towards.
How's the music, guys? Okay, can you hear it?
Yeah, it's good volume.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Give me a thumbs up.
Yeah, and Zach,
in the chat.
yeah, no worries if you don't want to chime in, but feel free if you have any thoughts too, and just as we're talking through any of this.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get up to speed a little bit. I like to kind of start with getting all the thoughts down on like what you want it to convey, and then kind of do like you're saying with the inspiration browsing. It's in a way like just kind of shopping for ingredients, and then once I have all those ingredients, try to figure out like what the recipe is going to be based on what I've kind of found and browsed and seen, and all those ideas are kind of fresh in my head. And I like a lot of these. I think the one that stands out to me the most is that kind of mirrored FF, the one that we've talked about there, just because of the simplicity of it. And I like that it's not obviously a fountain. It's not in your face like this is a fountain, that's my last name. Like it's just representative of a fountain, which I think keeping it understated like that's pretty cool.
Yeah. And that's ultimately like what I wanted too, is something understated and less like, look, it's a water fountain.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think we can go a handful of different ways with this at the moment. And Devin, I don't know if you just like, is there any of these that we want to like try to like build out in Figma and see if there's iterations that come out of it, or do we want to explore typefaces? Or
here, I'll just like quickly like label some things here. I would love to see. I won't be like this and this and this. Like, I think that I would love to see this shape here, right? Like this F thing. I think it's really interesting, and I would be curious to see other iterations, or maybe how we could make it a little less like one note, like sort of like one stroke width, or I don't know. And then I think the other one is maybe probably one of these. I would love to hear. I feel like these verge on more like badges, or like the dots up here, or like the moon. And I don't want my name in it, but maybe the last two I like, like these two, I guess. I kind of like the symmetry on this one, and I like the simplicity on this one.
It can like, it looks like a sticker,
Yeah. I'm a little weary.
If we did it, we'll make is it a squircle?
Yeah, squircle.
Yes. Square. Yeah. That general shape is what I was thinking. Yeah.
And then, I don't know, for really simple reasons, this little wide boy here I love, so whatever. Yeah, I think those three are like, they interest me, and I'd like to see those move forward.
Cool. Yeah. I'm down to like jam on those if we want to like keep a conversation going, or like I can also pull up my typefaces if you want to explore that too, or do you want to, what's your
wow, typefaces is like wow, that's daunting.
That's all.
Because I've started putting typefaces on my like website mock-up, but like, yeah, go ahead, Josh.
Well, like, I'm curious if you guys have a process for branding, because like, do you guys come up with like the value? Again, I always come back to like these tangible values, and then you translate them over into visual, like a direction, right? So even for like these words, simple, minimal, clean, do you kind of bring that over to your typography, and then even the look of the logo and all that stuff? Like, is there some systematic way to approach that, or you just kind of feel it out? You just go, okay, let's just like we're doing now, or we're gonna like.
I mean, in my process too, like before we even get to this phase, and I had mentioned that I would wanted to do it, but I just didn't have the time. But like doing a questionnaire, just kind of asking like what the goal is, what are some like other brands, whether even if it's in the same like realm of business that they're in, but just other brands that they like, than creating a mood board. So, usually Missy and I'll spend a couple days just really like digging in and finding inspiration. If they have anything that they want to share from a visual perspective too, like great.
Yeah.
But really like honing in on that through like mood boarding before I even get to like the sketch phase, and definitely before I even get like into like actually like designing anything.
Okay.
So when I pick a typeface or any of that type of stuff, I try to kind of have like a good feel for it before we even get to that part.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, and I don't know if
What about you, Zach?
Zach,
Do you have a systematic approach in coming up with the brands?
Yeah, I mean, at first it's just all about finding like the personality, and that, we want it to fit the right vibe. We do a lot for businesses and medical and things like that. So for us, it's a little bit more about, trying to match kind of the tone of whatever the medical practice may be. So when people see their branding online and then they visit them in person, it's kind of all one cohesive feeling and vibe and all that. So for us, we start usually just with kind of identifying what that personality is and trying to uncover their what makes them unique and what we can kind of translate visually to a brand. And we start with a lot of words, kind of pick out certain words that seem important, and then from those words try to figure out what's visual, what can be conveyed
right
in a small icon or small space. And then from there, it's a lot of experimenting and trying things out.
Gotcha. Cool.
Yeah, I feel like every client is different. Well, every client is completely different, but some of them kind of come in with already a good idea of what they're wanting and very, specific, and that's awesome. Some of them don't know until they see it, which is fine too. But yeah, it's like trying to uncover and like ask the right questions and, explore mood boards and things like that, just to really like hone in on what they're looking for, especially if they're coming in just like knowing that they've got a name and what the company does, but kind of really nothing outside of that. Kind of helps us uncover a lot of that. I did want to share really quickly, we will not get into fonts, but just so that the people that are watching, and I know Devin was like, oh, you don't just use font book, which this does, similar things, but I use Write Font. Can you guys see it?
Yeah.
And so I've been using this for 5 or 6 years, and they've done some great updates to it over the years, but I mean, it just allows you to type it out, and it's got the Google and Adobe fonts like already pre-installed.
Crazy.
You can search by like serif and sans serif, but yeah, just typing in fountain. And then, I mean, spend, a couple hours over the course of a few days to like really like, oh, there's this one. And then I'll usually just screenshot them and then bring them into Figma just to remember which ones I liked. But have found using this app, and there's a handful of other ones out there that do similar, but have found this as a great way to source the fonts I'm going to use for a project.
Josh, do you see in his sidebar how many fonts it says he has installed?
16,000. So after working at a couple agencies and trading with friends, I've gathered quite the selection.
That's insane. Wow.
I don't even know if I want to get into fonts right now. That's
what I was saying. I just wanted to mention it before like we do end up like once we end the stream, but I just wanted to mention like Write Font is a great app just in regards of organizing and then being able.
How do we get that? Write Font. Just Google.
Yeah, so it is writefontapp.com.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's great. It's been around for 5 or 6 years, and they're good with updating it anytime like there's a new like OS. Doesn't do it with Figma. I still have to right click and reload the tab, but it'll instantly install fonts in like Photoshop or Illustrator. So if I install it and activate it, it'll immediately activate it in the app. Where Figma, if I activate it, you gotta close refresh Figma the tab.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, but other than that, and I'm sure they'll get around to it. But
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Does it install it into your font book, like in your Mac, or it's just kind of linked somehow?
So I think it's linked to it because it ends up having its own right font folder and then alphabetizes them all. But the great thing about that too is like anytime I get a new computer or like want to share it with Missy, I can just share this library file to her and then it'll send them all. So it's nice when transferring to a new computer too. So
Can you share the file with me?
yeah, if you want. I will say I'm a big proponent of paying for my fonts too. So
Yeah.
I do buy a lot of them, but I will admit after working at agencies and having 16,000 fonts, I don't even know where some of these came from. But yeah.
So what do you want to do next? Do you want to like show some variations of the logo, like sketch some? Like what do you want to?
Yeah, I mean, I would be down to just take the ones that you circled and just kind of come over here and start building and jamming on them. And talk through as I'm doing it. And if you guys want to like carry on too, that's fine. But yeah, I can totally just kind of take it and run with it.
Do you while you're working, I want to ask, do you and Missy ever have a conversation that's like, hey, like, what do you want for Christmas? Like, oh, I want a font. Like, oh, me too. And like, you guys gift each other. Like, oh,
not for Christmas, but we will talk about. We get like make sure each other has like personal money, and like I will admit, not so much her, but I will totally buy a font or a subscription to an app that I really want to use. I mean, that's the small things that bring joy to me.
Yeah.
Okay, where are we at now? Where do we want to take this?
He is going to iterate, I believe.
Okay, so we're going into logo then, logo design. Sweet.
Yeah.
You know, something I see with the shape is I see like kind of the outline of a heart too. Are you seeing that?
I don't. Let me go back to it.
Yeah. That's right.
Like,
oh yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Give me a Prince logo. It is sort of Prince-ish, isn't it?
Yeah. You should change your name just to this logo.
Formerly known as whatever this shape is.
As Fountain.
Yeah. Is that a Squircle drawer?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out. Oh, there it is. I was like, where's my Squircle?
Yeah.
Hey, you guys hear the totally kind of a tangent topic about Kanye?
God.
And I didn't know how recent did he change his name? It was like a couple
like a year or two ago, I think.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Yeah. But yeah, I heard about this interview with Lex Friedman. I haven't listened in yet, but it's pretty controversial.
I will say that interview, fan or not, like it was interesting because I never heard of that Lex guy.
Yeah.
There was like, well, just that Lex did a great job of like reining in his craziness.
Yeah.
So I've just never listened to Lex. So
Walker's coming
that was
in,
my first
guys.
I think I follow Walker on Twitter.
Man, if you guys follow him,
best photos.
Oh my goodness! Like yesterday, like I think the picture from his brother or cousin or something. There's mountains and like just land on it. There he is. Hey, what's up?
I
Walker?
don't follow him. Walker, I just followed you.
Walker is living the dream all the time. I'm surprised you're not on horseback right now.
Yeah, right. It's snowing like crazy out. I'm glad I'm not.
Hey?
Yeah.
I'm not ready for that. It's only a matter of time, but we're still in the fall thunderstorms at the moment.
Are you clicking shapes, Brandon? Did you not watch my talk?
I did watch it, but yeah, I do my own thing.
Oh, Eric's coming in the party.
Damn.
Here we go.
He's in a car.
In the car. What's up, Eric?
Is he camping? What?
Yeah, it's so good.
What's up?
Yo, this is such a good time.
Is he in a parking lot? What is?
I am in a parking lot.
Yeah, good. Safety first. Yeah. Let me guess. You're waiting to pick up the kids soon.
My wife is in a doctor's appointment, and then we're going to pick up the kids. Yeah.
Cool. Well, welcome to our Friday chill design sesh. We thought we'd just kick it off. Like, obviously, like no preparation. We just show up and hang out. So,
yeah,
love it. I love what I was seeing on YouTube.
Nice.
So, for the ones that missed the party, do you want to talk about the tips and tricks that I'm not doing that you shared?
Yeah.
Not using shortcuts. So for anybody who's watching who wasn't watching the other one, I was streaming with Flow Party, and I was doing a little walkthrough about getting faster at Figma and some things that you can do to save time and improve your speed. Sort of taking away the things that you have to think about or do manually over and over again and making them more like automatic, right? And I'm not talking about like AI or using scripts. I mean, doing it manually just in a smarter way. And one of the sections I go over is like talking about hotkeys and using those. But Brandon is clicking everything.
Yeah. The short key thing, I feel like on Figma, I really need to actually dive into it. It's just something I just haven't taken the time to learn yet. But
so
the raycast situation though, I don't know if do you use their snippets at all?
I don't. Should I?
So I found a way to add like a lot of scripts that I utilize in Webflow a lot. I'll create snippets. And so if I just do like star footer year or whatever you want to label it, you can label it. It'll automatically like shoot out that script that I use to like get the year to automate on the footer, things like that. But the stuff that I utilized on like every build, I've like created snippets so that I just like type in what it is and then it will spit out the JavaScript. So things like that have been helpful. Anyone else familiar with Raycast? If not, I highly recommend.
I use it primarily to generate. Well, it's really great for doing math in. I do a lot of math, like basic algebra, and in like the search bar, just generally. It's great for like calculating what size I want things to be in Figma, or doing really basic like scaling stuff. But I also use it I really like lorem ipsum. Like if you just type lorem ipsum into Raycast, you can generate a paragraph or a sentence just instantly to copy to your clipboard, which like I use a lot. Going back to, I don't remember what I was talking about, going back to my little presentation, like what I was going to talk about.
Being faster.
Yeah, get faster. No, more specifically, there's something I wanted to bring up for Brandon, but I'm forgetting now. Either way, it was fun. I did way more slides than I anticipated. I thought that I was gonna make up something, and I ended up with like 80 slides in total. I remember what I was gonna say. So I did a little math on making a little user interface comparing hotkeys versus clicking, and let's say, so I did an example of a list item, right, which has like an avatar, a little title, and then like a little description below it, right? Think of like a text you would get in iMessage or an email in an email app, right? So I did the comparison for hotkeys and then clicked, and I went as fast as I could. I didn't like try to slow down in an attempt to like skew the situation, but with the hotkeys, it took me 1minute 17 seconds to make the entire component and then edit it just a little bit. I did like a couple font changes just to see. For clicked only, no hotkeys, took me 2 minutes and 19 seconds. So it's almost double the amount of time. And then I took the amount of time each one was over 4 like really quality work hours in a day times 260 working days, and basically found out that you can make, this is just a good example because like this is something you make commonly, but you can make with hotkeys approximately 48,623 different lists, right? And obviously you're not going to make that many lists. That's ridiculous. But if you sort of take that idea, right, of like these things that you replicate over and over again, and you take how much time it would take you, that's a big number compared to clicking things, which was 26,935 lists, which is almost half, right? Obviously it makes sense with the time, but you're losing roughly 2 hours per day just clicking things rather than using hotkeys. And that's a lot of money you're losing too by not doing those things. So that's sort of like the math that I was making in that presentation and trying to like convince people, because some people will, you know, they're like, oh, I don't need to learn these things. Like I'm fast enough. And it's like, okay, you know, it's fine if you think you're fast enough, but like if you're not making decisions quick enough for the client, you're losing money and you're costing them more money. And I'm going to give the client 10 alternatives and you're going to give the client 3. And then they can pick whatever they want from mine. And then from yours, they pick far less. So that's sort of the point that I was trying to make with that stuff.
Did you say you figured out the math using Raycast?
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember that was I was listening, but also I used Alfred for a while before Raycast and did the same thing. But it's awesome that it tracks all that information about your use.
No, I did hard math on that one.
Oh, you did? Oh, well, because Alfred will, and I'm assuming Raycast does similar, but it would track like your shortcuts and clicks and just the use of it.
Yeah. So what are you doing right now exactly? I can see that you're sort of drawing.
This is going to try an iteration of it with like maybe with the bottom part of the fountain here. Also to your point, if I was an illustrator, I would be a lot faster on some of this. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not an illustrator
I have
either.
started to move some of my branding into Figma, but as you see, like I'm just not as comfortable, and you can't do things like type on an arc and things like that.
Yeah, I want to try one.
But you know, I feel like their pen tool is like pretty good. It's not bad. What do you guys think? Like, have you guys used that for logo design? Because like I was trying to do that in Sketch, and their pen tool sucked.
I really don't like the pen tool in Figma.
Okay.
I don't like the way it performs. I think for me, like I always get tripped up on like what I click on the keyboard versus like Illustrator. Like drawing a line, for example, right?
Yeah.
It's like obviously really easy. And I really love, I think when it first came out, I loved it. I was like, oh, you know, like this example here, like I love vector networks, like being able to like drag a line and it readjusts. But I found out that I never use it, really like ever. Yeah. I don't think I've ever used it a single time. Because like the way that I imagined it to work was that I could draw a line. I know. I could maybe draw a line and then like drag it up and it would adjust, but it ends up moving all the points, which makes sense. But
hey, someone's drawing something funky on Zoom here.
Hey, this is a PG.
Is this? No,
I can't erase that.
It's not going on a stream. Is this Gregory? Welcome, Gregory. You come here to draw.
I think it's a warning. It's saying don't go this way with it.
Oh, because this little Well,
who did that? How do I get this in Zoom?
Here's what I'm gonna do.
You're the host.
Annotate. No. Clear all drawings. Okay, there you go. Who did that? Was that you, Zach?
Hey, come on. I didn't do that.
Okay, yeah.
I was thinking it, but I didn't do it.
It's a flower.
I'm trying to see what I could do too. Just a little fun.
Hey, Brandon. Any way you could open up the Figma file so we all could edit?
Yes. I've got to remember.
I think you can change those with a link can edit. Oh, okay. Okay. Gregory, I think that's you, my friend.
Wow.
I'm
canceled, bro.
I'm gonna kick you out if if this happens. I'm gonna clear it. There's a warning. There's a warning. Pretty sure it's not Walker.
Not me.
Okay. You troll. I'm sorry, my friend. You're out.
For that reason, sharks, I am out.
Yeah.
Here's mine. Here's my little fountain. It looks like a plant growing out of the ground. I keep running into this problem where I'm just drawing plants.
Well, also with these sketches of whoever that was, I'm starting to realize as soon as there's a bottom of this F situation, it easily looks
Yeah, dude.
a little phallic.
Yo,
So
Keys, what's up, man?
What's going on?
Listen,
Keys, what's up, dude?
Yo,
Oh, good to see ya. Las
I think
Vegas taking over.
I think ultimately when I ask for a logo, I'm just looking for a penis, you know? Like it's really easy to draw one though when you're making a logo. You think like, oh, that looks really good, and your friend comes around and they go, no, that looks like something different than you think.
Okay,
so I had a branding client a couple months ago
Yeah.
who really loved cards. Like they had this whole poker vibe going with their stuff, and their brand name is Aces. So we spent like a month going back and forth on iterations of how to do a spade with an A.
Yeah.
Nailed it in, and then their cousin looked at it and said, "Why does it look like a butt plug?"
Yeah.
And
I can see
like the
that.
spade went out of the window. A whole month of work was like, nope, we can't do it. We're gonna do something different.
Yep.
And did it look like one?
I didn't think so, but once you throw that out there, spades look like butt plugs.
Yeah.
yeah, it
Once you
sticks.
see it, it's
We had a client think a logo of ours looked really phallic, but like
Yeah.
the funny thing was like nobody else agreed. Like nobody could see it. We're like, what?
Yeah.
Where? And like at that point, it was kind of like saying a little bit more about them than the logo.
yeah.
We had a client to I don't know if I switch over if you guys can see, but in my examples I threw out some stuff that we had done in the past, but the Outlandia logo before it was a sun.
Mm.
Hold on. Here. It was like a starburst, and yeah, they said it looked like a butthole. So we switched it to a sun. And again, like once someone says it, you can't unsee it, but so
Gotta take those dirty minds out.
Josh's YouTube stream just got a mature rating here.
Yeah,
Oh,
not kid
boy.
friendly. This is after
He's not-
hours.
He's not going to get that subscriber money anymore.
It's a good thing it's a new channel. We can still raw, new, anything goes. No one's gonna watch the first like 50 episodes.
Yeah.
Got our the Wolfpack
Oh, nice.
stickers in the house.
Oh, those came out nice.
Yeah, and the little badge.
That's awesome.
I was gonna ask this whole Tim Ferriss situation we didn't talk about.
Well,
man.
oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
How did
You
that
just-
how did that night go? Were you like flipping out? Like
Oh, it was crazy. There's so much happened. Just trying to think and process. There's a few things I can't share. A few things
course.
I can, but
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people were reaching out. But it just happened. I just retweeted it, and obviously, he didn't talk to me or anything like that. But we're like, this
Yeah.
is crazy. Like, we're just making a big splash. So it's nice. It's cool to see people get excited about, like, I think the whole concept of esports and web design. It's so niche and unique, and yeah, I think people just enjoy seeing it.
I think the first time that I saw it was Eric, and then who was the other designer in the very first Rumble?
Guy
Eric
from
and Caleb.
yeah, Caleb.
Caleb what?
I don't know. Caleb.
Oh
I don't
no!
remember his last name.
I don't know.
Because he didn't.
Flow Guru.
It was just Caleb. He didn't. Yeah, Flow
Yeah.
Guru. He didn't have like
the
a
man
presence.
has no last name. Just
Yeah.
Caleb.
Yeah. So I think when I first saw that, I don't even remember how I came across it actually. I was like, this is like one of the coolest things that I've seen done in this industry in a while. I was like, I really hope to be a part of it. And then it was like 2 days later, Josh, I don't know if Eric asked or Josh asked, or like, hey, do you want to be in this? And I was like, yeah. Yeah,
It was
absolutely.
Brandon, I think.
Oh, Brandon. Yeah, it was Brandon.
Yeah, it was Brandon. Yeah.
Shout out to Brandon. That was
Yeah.
I love your guys' Rumble I loved it. One of my favorites because I just love sneakers and you guys just killed it. It was just like so different and so cool.
Yeah.
I saw that one too.
Benton was in. So shout out Benton, you're amazing
Raul,
designer.
what's up?
I was originally Benton was in our like Webflow party the other day with like the Unfold crew. It was really cool. They came on and talked about their branding process. It's worth a watch. Benton was in there and I was like, dude, you're so talented. It's unbelievable. You know, of course, like every designer, they just go like, no, you. I'm like, no, dude, you would decimate me in a Rumble. Like it's not even close. The amount of skill that guy has is ridiculous. Like you guys have to go and rewatch that Rumble and see what he does with 30 minutes. Like we're talking like corporate level Rivian website, you know? Like I think it was him in the burger one too, right?
Yep.
Wow, that one was so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He did the checkerboard and I'm like, oh my god, dude, how did you do that?
Oh, let me see if I can pull up the designs here.
Yeah.
You can look at like some designers and tell that they have just spent hours and hours and hours and live and breathe doing that thing, and that's what Benton does. Like he has honed his craft to a point where he doesn't have to consciously think about it and can immediately defend the decisions he made. And I don't know if that's a product of like the Unfold team and how they work, or if that's him, but I'm amazed by it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's one thing to move quickly, which is like, obviously it's like what I talked about with the Webflow party. And it's another thing to move quickly and also make the right decisions.
Yeah.
You see?
Are you guys seeing on YouTube here? Or should I share the Figma file? This is like internal stuff.
Share the Figma file.
Okay,
Wait,
let's
I don't
see,
know.
Let's see. Give me a sec.
Yeah. It's just so good. I mean,
I also know we're past an hour. I'm totally good, but if you guys at some point are like, this is enough, let me
Keep
know.
going. You guys can drop off whenever. After hours here.
I think that one thing that I really would have wanted to see from the Rumble too is like, oh, come on with the faucet. Can you go over the faucet? It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's also an F too.
That's pretty cool. A DF.
I think that the thing that I really wanted to see out of the Rumble was like it was fun to see them break down their designs, you know, but like I want to see them like, are they excited about each other's? Like how do they feel about the other person's work, you know? Because I think like when Brandon and I did ours and I saw Brandon's at the end, because you really I don't think people understand this. When you're watching the stream, you get to see both sides at the same time, and then obviously a focus in some zoomed areas. But when you're working on it, you don't see the other designers until like the very end. Like, yeah, you could jump over there, but like you don't have time. You don't have time to like check theirs out and, oh, they're doing this, I should do that too. So when I saw Brandon's for the first time, I was like, oh, I'm screwed. Like, this is really cool. And then I saw his footer and I was like, oh, he didn't finish. It's all good. But I think that's like the one thing is like, I want to hear the designers talk about each other's work. Because you know they're impressed with one another.
Yeah.
Like I know that it was very late for them, but that's just like a mutual respect that you have for the other person to also be competing in 30 minutes.
Yeah, I think that was something that I had kind of mentioned. I wasn't like quite like I'm gonna cancel, but I had like a fever and night sweats and like shivering. I like felt like shit, and so I felt so bad because I'm like, I had a couple of friends like, you didn't even talk the whole time, and I'm like, yeah, but it wasn't because I was mad or anything. I literally felt like I was dying like hours before. But to your point, Devin, like I felt like almost, and I know we all like, you started giving them time to like talk about it, but it is like so important to like see what the other person did and just like holy shit, especially with the last few, like as you guys were getting to the end of the league,
God,
it was just like insane. And I told you too, like my kids, like we would get around the TV and like stream it and like watch it because I'm like they're like, are you on it again? And I'm like, no, but like,
no, Josh didn't ask me back. He doesn't consider me as equal.
No, guys, come on. We had such a hard time making a decision like who to bring on, and I mean, so many people are requesting for you to guys come back for sure. And this is part of the reason why I created this other channel, because we wanted to. I mean, Reloom has a brand to maintain, and there's a lot of high stakes now, and I just wanted to open it up to be more chill. So, I mean, we could do practices here. We can do little like exhibitions here. We are going to do it on the channel too, but that's, again, it's limited. So, we want to bring you on for sure.
One thing I didn't mention is that I found out my dad watched it. He was watching it live.
Crazy.
And the first thing he said after it was over wasn't like, congrats or you did a great job. It was you say like a lot. I'm like, cool, thanks Dad, it's great, appreciate that. You say like a lot and a lot. I'm like, okay, well, funny. I'm your son, so
I don't realize that.
I had my whole family found out about the first one, so like my mom and my dad and my sister and like friends from high school found out about it. Whoa. It was real awkward.
Oh.
Because then it was all like, oh, we get what you do now. Like, well, we don't get it, but it's cool to see it.
That's cool, man.
There was this documentary that came out in like, it was like 2017, maybe 18, from Envision. I don't know if anybody remembers that.
Yeah, Envision.
Yep.
And I thought it was such a good example of what product designers and web designers do. Like, it was so good that I recommended it to my family, and they were like, it's 2 hours long, I'm not gonna watch it. I was like, you want me to explain to you every Christmas what I do, like to grandma, but you won't watch 2 hours? Okay.
Was it Disruptors?
Yeah, it was. Disruptor. I think it was called Disruptors. Yeah.
Cool.
It's very good.
I remember. Waiting for that to come out. They had like a holding page for years for it.
Yeah.
And
okay, guys,
I got to go to the premiere.
I shared the Figma link in the chat. Hop in. Let's we got some Rumble alumni here, so we can go over your guys' design and just like hear more of your thoughts, because we do want to share more. We've just been so busy with my move, and then we're going to Webflow Conf next week. But we did want to do like a follow-up on the whole RDL and like bring the designers back or something, or do a commentary, because I think there's so much to dig through. But popping it in the stream now, you can hop into the Figma file in the Zoom chat, and let's go over.
Do you want me to share that, or do you want to share it?
No, I'm doing it on stream, so.
Oh.
Yeah. I only see Brandon. Are you guys in
the file?
Yeah, the Figma file.
Yeah.
They're talking. He's talking about the Rumble file.
Yeah,
because it's all the Rumble. It's all the past Rumbles, which is cool.
No, I had actually not clicked that.
Archive.
Let me look into that real quick.
Okay, I see Walker, Zach's in here. Okay, if you want to follow me, I'm in. Once you follow me, click my avatar, it'll hop into the page.
Yeah. Figma's been doing that thing where it doesn't want to open the desktop app.
Oh yeah.
The app.
So let's take a look at Benton.
Okay, I'm following you now. Oh, I'm
Okay.
following me. Okay, yeah.
So these are the archives. Yeah, I mean it's loading up. So yeah, this checker design. What I really love, what he did at even this whole grid is so clean.
Why don't you share your screen, Josh, in Zoom?
Oh, sure. Desktop Figma. Okay, there you go.
Yeah. I love this one. I voted for this one.
The paper treatment here, and then that was like that came last minute. That was such a nice touch. Love that.
I want to know how he did this, like this sort of subtraction thing so quickly. And if you look at it too, obviously if you zoom in really small, you kind of see a little bit there. But like, how did he do that so fast?
Yeah. Oh, so he did that's so crazy. It's like a mask with a vector.
Yeah, it's really impressive. Whoa. I think even this button looks really cool. Yeah, wow. I'm impressed with his, like, the balance of colors that are going on here. And the content itself is like, it's very organized. I love this checkerboard thing he kind of made here. I think that this is supposed to be that Rayloom component, the banner, the scrolling banner.
Yeah.
But like taking the scrolling banner and adding this checkerboard is really a great touch. Just little tiny things throughout the whole design that really tie it together. The dotted pattern on the hero image here, the overlapping of the text, right? These offset shadows in different spots. Like, it's really just fantastic.
Yeah. And then going over.
So I know in our Rumble, you started using that shaper tool afterwards, but I feel like there's a lot of plugins that Figma just continually has that change the game. It's so crazy how quick it'll clean up. There's one that'll like make it pixel perfect, or it'll round every spacing by increments of 8. Just automatically. Like, I mean, there's things where it's just like a click of a button and it essentially cleans up any mistakes that you made.
Okay,
but things like this.
Let's go hop over to your guys' match, Rumble 2.
Yeah.
If you follow me, who wants to go over? I mean, yeah, Brandon. Devin, go ahead.
Yeah, I want to go over Brandon's.
Okay.
I want to hear him talk about that one.
Yeah, because you went over it in our speed build, so.
Yeah.
I love this. This is so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I just like really dug what Nike had done, and I don't remember. You didn't tell us about. You just said minimalist grid, right? There wasn't any other context.
Brutalism.
Brutalism.
Or brutalism. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just feel like product, and I don't know if maybe just doing e-commerce for myself and throughout the years that just focusing on the product and like kind of stripping things away. And so, yeah, I just really wanted to focus on the shoes and really fit into the grid area. And the fact that you had all these shoes already cut out of the backgrounds was like perfect.
Yeah.
Do you prefer that? Having it like just the outline, no background?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think it depends on like what it is you're building, but 100% for things like this, I think it just adds another level of like depth to it.
Yeah.
Especially when it's e-commerce related. Yeah. I mean, I feel like where Devin went and why his was like so great was just the like adding color, where I was just trying to like strip away the color. Like I just like black and white, focus on the product, add some like fun like hip shapes and things to it. But yeah, then I didn't even touch the footer. But yeah, I don't know, you know, in my mind, like while I was doing it, 30 minutes is just like not a lot of time at all. And so I was just starting to like throw things together. Let me see the photos too. Yeah, I'm like knocking out the backgrounds. you just helped also like allow you to add a little more life to the photos. So
I was really impressed that you did that, because when I saw the photo assets, I was like, wow, I don't have any transparent photos. And then I found out you used like a plugin to do it.
Yeah, there's this plugin called Clip Drop.
Yeah.
Totally game changer, because it'll also, if you have like a really shitty pixelated photo, you can upscale it and it'll not work all the time, but a lot of the time it'll actually make the photo usable. So on top of removing background. So Clip Drop, if you haven't heard of it.
That's cool.
I would love to know how Josh felt after the first or the second round. Like, you know, this is sort of your baby, right? Like, after you launched it, right? You did Eric's, and then you did ours, and which match? At what point were you like, oh, I've got something here. Like, I've got something really special.
I would say right off the bat from the like, because when I went to Reloom, I pitched to them 4 live streams.
Yeah.
Like before even like signing on or just officially being on the team. So the last one was Eric's Rumble, and I just like I had the concept in my head. I put it together, and it was like a huge success right away. It just felt so fun. It was good. It was fun. And then especially just like with the chat going on. So I knew that was good. And then with you and Brandon, it was just the nail on the coffin. Like it just. And then also with this topic, like, it made me super excited. So for me, I'm like, I actually updated and added more of the assets here. So I knew that like what really got me excited was just the preparation of like all these fun assets. And then after that, like, okay, let's make it official for like let's stretch it out for an actual tournament. So yeah, it was basically after you guys. So really, the format hasn't changed too much, but now we're just trying to refine it to get it more engaging. That's why we're trying to get like more votes in. Or
I wasn't really sold on it until I saw Josh in the suit. Then when I saw Josh in the suit hosting, I'm like, this is official. This is legit.
Yeah, thanks, man.
One thing, and I know I'm not the only one that took away from this, but I feel like I've almost approached, especially designing web, to where I almost mentally try to put myself as if I'm in a Rumble, because the quality of what people were producing in 30 minutes, I feel you get like that imposter syndrome, or just like stuck in your head instead of just doing it and putting things out there, that I felt like it's like just disconnect from it a little bit and just, you know, iterate and throw things out there. So I feel like it was really like, you know, inspiring and cool to just see like other people busting out like awesome stuff in 30 minutes.
Yeah, that's awesome. I just love how people are being fanboys of each other now, right? Like Adam's a huge fan of Benton and like his designs, and
because he's amazing.
Yeah. No, it's really cool.
Just don't let the clients see how fast we can do it.
So that's a recurring comment. That people do like, oh, thanks guys, you just ruined, like, if client watches this, it's gonna like no, because
don't worry, you were never fast enough anyways.
If you can provide the assets like these, then no problem, I could spin it in
I think that's the thing that people forget. Like, you're providing us colors, assets, like mood board, and then literally a whole component done page. Like, we're not whipping these things up from scratch. You too can go over to Rayloom and grab these components from the Figma file. It's free, by the way. You could build it for free if you want, or you could subscribe to Rayloom. It's just gonna be a lot easier to copy paste from Rayloom, but you can do that too. It's just that, like, you providing us those assets really takes a big step out of the process.
Actually, that's a huge point that, you know, and I know you've said you've taken sometimes, you know, days to gather that. So that's a very great point that we're able to do that, because we're provided with everything, which typically in a lot of cases we're kind of coming in empty-handed and having to source photos or use lorem ipsum or whatever. So
well, I think go ahead, Eric.
I would say that last one, the last few rounds with having the copy like so well ironed out. Like you had the structure. You basically were given a completed creative brief with everything you possibly need to execute.
What never
Who
happens
gets
in
that
real life,
to design
right?
anything? Like I wish every project came with that much preparation to it.
Yeah, I didn't know that there was copy written, and so when I didn't get to watch the final Rumble live, but when I saw it at the end, saw the screenshots of it, I was like, and they wrote copy? Like I was like, that's how. But no, that makes sense. Yeah, it makes it look more realistic too.
Josh, you're probably doing this, but you should be putting together like a press kit with the amount of people you've had see this on TikTok and some of the views that you've had already for like the next round of these things. They shouldn't be fake companies. You should go reach out, get people to pay for their company to be the sponsor essentially, and we're redesigning them.
I'll be right back.
And they're contributing to the prize capital.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Totally.
I mean, there are so many ways to really. At the end of the day, I was just thinking today on the drive, like this is like a promotions platform. Like we just want to collaborate and bring as many people as possible. So even like assets, like Brandon, he on the burger one, he provided like the little eyes and the little comic designs. So if you guys want to create assets and contribute, then like that's one way you can sponsor, and then also like content for wireframes and things like that. So yeah, it's a great idea. I'm gonna end the stream for now. We can keep hanging out because I think people are dropping off. But thanks for watching, guys. This is a cool experiment. Super long stream. Hope you guys liked it. Give it a thumbs up, and we'll try to do this more often. Maybe every Friday, maybe every second week. But see you guys.